your last couple of weeks been, Gene? Have you been white knuckles, or was it all as expected given the run-up we've seen in this sector?
Well, I think the last week, in terms of the shift from investors about how they think about AI and that overinvestment narrative really picking up steam, that's made my knuckles more white. I'm more cautious going into what NVIDIA, how that's going to be received on the 19th when NVIDIA reports. But more broadly is that if you kind of take a step back and think beyond this kind of concern about the overinvestment, I'm more encouraged over the past couple weeks in the earnings that, in fact, we're still early in this AI cycle, the AI trade. If you'd have asked me 6 months ago, I'd have said we're in the third inning. I think we're in the second inning now. I recognize that may feel a little bit out of touch with reality, just given all the concern about this. We're at the peak of a bubble. But holistically, Joel, I feel very good about where we're at relative to, most importantly, the demand. The demand piece is there, and we're still so early when it comes to applications. And I think that really played itself out in the last earnings period.
We haven't even started to see the payoff from AI. I mean, all the excitement is about how much money the people, that are the companies actually building it out are going to need. That gets a little concerning, probably, Gene, with how circular, we've talked about how circular it is. But if you think about the power and the eventual usage for AI, I waffle between as big as the internet, not as big as the internet, 10 times as big as the internet.
Yeah, it's this well-traveled road about how big, how transformed it's going to be. And I would just kind of set the landscape here is that those who are more skeptical about the AI trade would say that AI is going to be transformative. They'll say that it's going to have a big impact on our lives, but they'll also say that it's going to fall short of expectations. And the camp that I'm in is belief that it ultimately is higher than expectations. So trying to guess what that expectation game is, where ultimately everything is kind of the art of this. I believe that there's a lot of concern about AI bubble. I believe that ultimately that is a good thing for the market right now. I think it's a bullish sign for the market. I was there 25 years ago. I remember what the dot-com conversation was, and there wasn't this kind of intensity in 98, 99, 2000 about this bubble. So at the most basic level, when I think about the transformation, I think this is the central question investors should ask is at what degree do you think AI will be transformative? The use cases so far are still relatively limited. We're still talking about coding and customer service as being the gold standard use case. Software companies have yet to realize the power of implementing this tool. And so I think that just the fact that the use cases are so limited today actually speaks to how bullish I am about where AI can go in the years to come.
Wall Street just gave NVIDIA another boost in confidence. Citi Research increased its price estimate for the market leader in AI chips from $650 to $720 ahead of its next earnings report, stating that there is still a high demand for NVIDIA's processors. Because of the unwavering demand for its H100 chips and the increasing enthusiasm surrounding its next-generation Blackwell GPUs, NVIDIA has won the title of undisputed leader in artificial intelligence computing, according to Citi's analysts. As businesses scramble to grow their AI infrastructure, those items are anticipated to power data centers well into 2026. However, some investors are concerned about price swings and limitations in the supply of chips. According to Citi, NVIDIA's long-term competitive edge is derived from its close relationships with cloud heavyweights, software ecosystem, and unparalleled developer tools. Investors will be watching NVIDIA's earnings next week, hoping to see if the company can meet the high expectations despite its rapid growth. With the stock already up 180% this year, NVIDIA is among the top winners of 2025 and may be just getting started. NVIDIA's decline is viewed by analysts as a buying opportunity given its promising growth prospects. Leading Wall Street analysts are still overwhelmingly optimistic about NVIDIA's prospects ahead of its November 19th earnings report, despite the company's shares experiencing recent turbulence. Based on the company's recent disclosures and order pipeline, major financial institutions like Citi, Wolfe Research, and Bank of America Securities have published in-depth analysis indicating that NVIDIA's current valuation may represent a buying opportunity with significant upside potential. Here are the opinions of leading analysts regarding NVIDIA's future. Wolf believes there is clear upside to the consensus figures for CY26 in light of NVIDIA's latest disclosures at GTC. The company points out that NVIDIA has indicated that it will ship about 3 million Blackwell chips so far in 2025, with a projected total income of $500 billion from Blackwell and Rubin that will translate into roughly 10 million GPU chips by the end of 2026. This implies that Blackwell and Rubin will generate about $300 billion in revenue in 2026 alone, which is about 20% more than Wolf currently projects. A base scenario of about $8 in CY26 EPS is supported by the analysis, which places the stock at a very reasonable 25x that earnings power. Wolf also points out that the majority of the additional income seems to come from pricing, since ASPs increased by more than 50% from Blackwell to Rubin generation over generation, which is good for gross margins. NVIDIA's stock is compelling and priced for measured AI buildout, according to Bank of America Securities. According to BofA, NVIDIA's announcement of over $500 billion in data center orders for CY25 or 26 points to a possible EPS of about $8 per share for CY26. Sales and EPS would have increased by 50% and 70%, respectively, year over year, but the company is trading at basically an undemanding 24x PE market multiple. The company contends that NVIDIA's stock is priced for highly methodical AI rollouts, regardless of media headlines, and that the commotion surrounding China's restrictions is harmful but unrelated to short and medium-term revenue projections. Investors will be eagerly monitoring NVIDIA's financial results and guidance as its earnings get near to see if these optimistic analyst expectations come to pass. Chris Caso, an analyst at Wolf Research, stated in a note that NVIDIA's latest revelations at its GTC event point to a definite improvement over the current consensus projections for 2026. The company projects that Blackwell and Rubin chips would generate nearly $300 billion in sales the following year, which represents a 20% increase over its earlier projections. According to Wolf, this supports about $8 CY26 EPS as a basic case, which would position the company at a very reasonable 25x that earnings power. The research firm went on to say that pricing and volume are driving NVIDIA's expansion. It calculates that average selling prices are increasing by over 50% from Blackwell to Rubin generation after generation, and the potential reintroduction of a GPU with a Chinese focus might increase sales even further. Wolf came to the conclusion that NVIDIA's data center revenue in 2026 would surpass projections by as much as $85 billion, which would equate to about $8,000 EPS, or about 30% more than our current expectations. Analyst Vivek Arya described recent concern regarding artificial intelligence spending as healthy but exaggerated, while Bank of America reaffirmed its buy rating on NVIDIA. According to Arya, NVIDIA's $500 billion in data center orders for 2025-2026 indicate strong demand, and the company's profitability might increase by 70% annually. According to Bank of America, NVIDIA's valuation is still undemanding, given its potential for long-term development, and the daily commotion surrounding China restrictions is detrimental but unrelated to the near-medium financial predictions. Before NVIDIA's earnings are released on November 19th, Atif Malik of Citi feels that investors should believe what they read. The bank stated, "Our estimates continue to assume zero China data center sales. We launch a 30-day upsides T-view NVIDIA's stock based on beat and raise outcomes. Recently, NVIDIA has been among the most sought stocks. As a result, you might want to think about some of them major variables that might affect the stock's performance soon. Over the past month, the stock of this manufacturer of artificial intelligence and gaming graphics chips has increased by plus 2.7%, while the S&P 500 composite has increased by 0.3%. NVIDIA is a part of the semiconductor general industry, which has increased 1.3% during this time. The crucial query at this point is, where might the stock go in the near future? The buy and hold choice is always dominated by certain basic facts, even when news reports or speculations regarding a significant shift in a company's business prospects typically cause its stock to trend, and cause an instant price change. Earnings estimates have been revised. At our company, assessing the shift in a company's profits prediction is our top priority. This is due to our belief that the present value of its future earnings stream determines the fair value of its stock. In essence, our analysis is predicated on how sell-side analysts who follow the stock are updating their earnings projections to reflect the most recent developments in the industry. The fair value of a company's shares increases in tandem with an increase in profit projections. Additionally, investors are more likely to purchase a stock when its fair value exceeds its current market price, which causes the stock's price to rise. As a result, empirical research shows a substantial relationship between short-term stock price changes and trends in earnings estimate revisions. For the current quarter, NVIDIA is anticipated to report earnings of $1.23 per share, which would represent a plus 51.9% improvement from the previous year. The consensus estimate has moved by plus 0.4% in the past 30 days. The current fiscal year's consensus earnings projection of $4.46 is a plus 49.2% year-over-year change. Over the past 30 days, this estimate has moved by plus 0.1%. The consensus earnings estimate of $6.24 for the upcoming fiscal year represents a plus 40% shift from NVIDIA's predicted earnings report from the previous year. The estimate changed by plus 0.6% in the last month. Because it successfully leverages the power of earnings estimate revisions, our proprietary stock grading tool, the rank, has a good externally verified track record and provides a more definitive view of a firm's price direction in the near term. NVIDIA is ranked rank number 2 by, due to the magnitude of the most recent shift in the consensus estimate, as well as 3 additional earnings-related variables. The following chart illustrates how the company's forward 12-month consensus EPS estimate has changed over time. Nothing much happens if a company is unable to increase its revenues, even if its earnings growth is likely the best sign of its financial health. For extended durations, it is nearly impossible for a business to increase its profits without increasing its revenue. Thus, it is essential to understand a company's potential for revenue growth. The current quarter's consensus sales forecast of $54.59 billion for NVIDIA indicates a plus 55.6% year-over-year change. Changes of plus 80.9% and plus 33% are indicated by the forecasts of $204.89 billion and $272.44 billion for the current and upcoming fiscal years, respectively. In the most recent quarter, NVIDIA recorded $46.74 billion in revenue, a plus 55.6% increase from the previous year. EPS of $0.68 a year ago is compared to $1.05 for the same time. The reported revenues are a 1.3% surprise when compared to the consensus estimate of $46.14 billion, while 5% was the EPS surprise. NVIDIA has exceeded consensus EPS projections 3 times in the last 4 quarters. During this time, the company consistently exceeded consensus revenue projections. No investment choice can be effective if the valuation of a stock is not taken into account. Determining whether a stock's current price accurately reflects the underlying business's intrinsic value and the company's growth prospects is essential when forecasting the stock's future price performance. It is possible to determine whether a company's stock is fairly valued, overvalued, or undervalued by comparing the current value of its valuation multiples, such as price to earnings, PE, price to sales, PS, and price to cash flow, PCF, to its own historical values. Additionally, comparing the company to its peers on these metrics provides a good sense of how reasonable its stock price is. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
So the market obviously assumes that this is all going to happen, the government's going to reopen, and we're just going to get back on our merry way in the stock market. That's certainly what the trade says today. Am I right?
Yeah, I think there's a certain measure of relief because the shutdown robbed us of visibility on the macro data, and of course there's economic hit and there's suffering because air traffic is slowing. So I think for many reasons, I think this shutdown was a problem for investors.
So what about now between, now and the end of the year? It's the AI trade that really seems to be debated. How do you feel about it heading into this final stretch?
I think it's still in really good shape fundamentally. We know there's a lot of visibility for AI spending, and we know there's still innovation and gain of function taking place with the models. So to me, it makes sense that there's still a payoff coming. I think one of the issues that investors are going to grapple with is even though they may say AI stocks are expensive, NVIDIA still only trades at 29 times forward earnings. I mean, it's still cheaper than Costco, so it's hardly a bubble valuation.
No, but I don't think when they talk about the valuation of AI stocks, they're necessarily talking about NVIDIA. I think you would agree with me on that. They're more so talking about names like Palantir and some others where you could easily say, yes, their earnings have been great and the story's incredible, but at some point you're only willing to pay X for a stock, and maybe that one's gotten a little bit too rich. Using that as an example of the kind of names they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think Palantir is an example of what they call like an N=1 company. You've got a founder-led business developing products that really seem like magic for the companies that adopt it. So, should this just be getting a softer multiple? I don't think so. And Palantir's opening up so many markets, and if it was a venture capital firm, they'd be getting, potential carry for how they transform businesses. So to me, I think that this is still a market discovering how to define the valuation model for Palantir. But to me, that doesn't mean it's a bubble. People would have said that about Tesla in 2018 because it looked incredibly expensive, and the stock in Tesla has been a huge performer since then.
But what was last week about then, do you think, at its heart?
Well, I think at the heart is the market wobbles, and so when the market wobbles, people, two things. One is they start to take shots at the leaders, right? Because they try to take down the leaders, thinking that's what leads us down. But the second, it really highlights the grim reality that we're about to have a third year of double-digit gains. The S&P's up 80% over the past 3 years, and funds are measured on 3-year performance. Only 21% of fund managers are beating 80% over that 3-year period. It is one of the worst ever periods for fund managers, and so they'd rather see the market fall so that it falls to their performance level. I think what's more likely, of course, is the market follows a seasonal pattern, which means there's going to be a lot of chasing into year-end.
Don't you have any concern at all about the level of money that these companies are spending on their build-out, and now the new wrinkle of tapping the debt market rather substantially to help do it?
I mean, Scott, yes and no. I mean, AI is proving to be a scale game. It's not like you and I could start a garage and make a model competitive with OpenAI. We need to have scale and a lot of chips. That's really the model that was required for telecom infrastructure and for energy infrastructure and, of course, for internet infrastructure and even fiber. So it makes sense that a handful of players are really playing a big role. And just like in the energy system, there's 8 majors. Everybody spends money on the 8 majors, and the 8 majors pay a smaller ecosystem. So I think it makes sense that that's what's developing in the U.S., and of course it's leaving other countries in the dust.